If you're new to my channel, I'm Hannah and I do this weekly vlog project this year, just showing what I get up to every week on the allotment, and this will be the 5th installment. So head back and check out the early ones if you want, and while you're here remember to subscribe and look out for my next vlog next Friday morning. I'm glad to have you along for the ride. Good morning. It's been raining all night. Yay! And there's an actual river going into the allotment site, which I don't think I've ever seen before. The ground must be so saturated. It's not even funny. The birds are out though. And so am I and Raska and the bokashi, or the refill for the bokashi. So it's gonna probably snow later today, and I'll get to the plot for the afternoon, so that will be fun. I should still be able to do some heavy labor, but I might also have to be a little bit inventive on jobs. Though there's always the little jobs that need doing, and I thought I'd show you some stuff that has arrived in the post. Well, at least the snow stopped, eh? And I remembered to bring the staple gun, so I can finally finish that bay for the compost, for the manure, sorry. And then I guess I have a date with the pile. But yeah, it's good, keeps me warm. It's definitely a good day for a good hood. I've got some other things to do today actually as well, so I need to make a start on sowing. So I'm doing a grow along via my Instagram and my website called the Grow Along for Life, and we're doing it through an emailing list. So people have signed up on my website, and the first email is going out on Sunday, so that will be tomorrow evening. So I need to stay a step ahead of everyone. I'm gonna sow mine early, so the sowing really starts in February, but you know, I need to get the photographs, and hopefully they would have germinated in time for the next email, and so on and so on. So I need to be sowing ahead of everyone else, which is yeah, it's not great this time of year. But yeah, so I've got that to do, and then I have to trim back my autumn fruiting raspberries as well. So I've got a few bits and bobs around the plot, and it should be a fairly good day for it all, I hope. Well, it's not really a day for hanging about, so I think I'm just gonna get started, because yeah, I don't want to get cold before I get started, so here we go. Right, I'm hiding in the greenhouse. Been shoveling for an hour and a half maybe. and I'm already knackered and also too hot, but it's raining so I can't turn my coat off. So yeah, it's all around miserable, but at the same time it's like it's a great time to reflect on things and you think about the most stupid things, which is quite entertaining sometimes. When I was shoveling from the pile, it's just the thought crossed my mind that what if I were to discover a half decomposed body in here? You know, I watch too many crime dramas really, and I was like in my head thinking, oh, would I call the farmer who I got the manure off, or should I leave that to the police? I mean, I'm sure the police would want to see what his reaction would be. The stupidest things. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I mean, I sort of tidied the pile up around the edges, and I made a good go at making that muddy path again. Yeah, maybe when I cut this footage together it will actually appear like I did quite a lot of work. One thing is clear though, I think I will have to extend my manure bay even further. So I'll need to put in another pallet probably to fit that all in. I did see some worms in there though, which is good. I mean, it's been raining a lot, so maybe they've gone into it. I don't know why, but I didn't see any in the previous delivery, which was a bit worrying at the time. I'm hoping through the year there'll be worm activity in there, and yeah. I also saw like a blackened acorn and a walnut, so I guess there's some squirrels where the pile has been originally. So we'll see if they start growing. That'll be fun, won't it? So at least the squirrels approve of the pile. That's good. I think I have another few days of shoveling to do. So I was hoping maybe I'd have my allotment helper come up with this weekend, but the weather's so bad, so I don't think she'll make it. But yeah, it's an okay job to do on your own if you're in the right mindset, but it's no denying that it's quite nice company too. So I don't know what the young people living behind the allotments are doing. They're having some sort of bonfire, and random things have been exploding, so I don't know if they're throwing like canisters or something on the fire, but all of a sudden there's like this ginormous bang and lots of smoke just coming in over the allotment. So yeah, that's fun. So I've noticed there are some new shoots coming on my autumn fruiting raspberries, so I think it's time that I cut them back. They form fruit on this year's growth, as opposed to summer fruiting that form fruit on the second year growth. So autumn fruiting raspberries are much easier to care for. However, I have had anecdotal tales told to me that if you don't cut all the stems back on autumn fruiting raspberries, they will produce fruit sooner on those that are not cut back. So that is something I'm interested in trying out, because my summer fruiting raspberry canes, I don't know why, but they are not doing well. And you know, if I can get my autumn fruiting to step into that gap, that would be great, and I could just get rid of those, the summer fruiting ones. But yeah, so I planted my autumn fruiting canes in 2020, so I don't think it's something I should do the first year. I think this year I'll just cut them all back and let them establish properly before I trial that method. So I think they do best by being cut back every year. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I might insert some lovely footage from the summer, and we can all dream back to glorious days of soft fruit harvests. So the autumn fruiting raspberries have really come into their own now. They are so good at producing, like, I'm so glad I grew them. So I grew them this year. I bought a bundle offer from T&M, I think it was, and they arrived a bit late because of lockdown, but I managed to plant them out and they have started fruiting the first year. So I'm so happy. I'm salivating now. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna eat this now. And there's so many fruit. You know, I started picking them when they were not completely ripe, and then they don't have such a great flavor. But if you wait until they almost fall off, they're perfect. So I bought these autumn fruiting raspberry canes just before lockdown, I think, and the delivery was the first lockdown, sorry, and the delivery was delayed. They did eventually turn up, and I could not get to work to get cardboard, I remember. So when I built that no-dig bed, I had to use like whatever I could. So like, I think I used a lot of Domino's packaging to put down as the first layer, and then I couldn't get to a garden center. Well, the garden centers were closed, so we were digging out the garden at the time, so I just used topsoil, which in our case is clay, you know, clay mixed soil, which is not great for raspberries, but that's what I had. So I did that for like 10 centimeters on top of the cardboard, and then when I planted the raspberry canes into that, and then when I can finally get some compost when the garden centers opened up, I topped it up on top there with compost. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely worth putting the compost on top, because the clay soil was just all dry. Like in that dry spell we had in April, it sort of was cracking on top and whatever. So the compost is a completely different texture, and the water retention properties are completely different as well. So that sitting on top just really helped to stop that drying out at the top there. So I think that really made a difference. So I haven't mulched the raspberries yet, so I can do that as well now. So that's a good day's work there. My daughter really loves strawberries, but she still has not come around to raspberries. But I'm hoping that this year that will change, because, or maybe I don't, because then I'll have to share. Yeah, good point. Maybe I'll let her have the strawberries and I'll just keep the raspberries to myself. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it there. I've sown the seeds for the grow along, and they've just been sitting in the water for a little bit, and I'm gonna bring them inside, germinate them in there. There's no way I would germinate seeds out in the greenhouse at this point. It's just so cold. They'll germinate much faster inside the house, and I do that for all my seeds in spring. So as soon as they've germinated, I take them out into the greenhouse, but they will do much better with a constant temperature than the fluctuations you get in here. But yeah, it's cold AF right now, because I guess I stopped working hard and yeah, the sweat chills, man. Oh, it's cold. But yeah, fairly good for a horrible Saturday. And I hope I'm not discouraging anyone who's thinking of taking up an allotment. You know, don't get me wrong, I love being down here and it is my savior, and yeah, I mean, it's great, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm so privileged to have this space to come to. But yeah, some days are better than others. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how these seeds do. I've never sown seeds this early, but yeah, not to be recommended. Wait until Valentine's Day, but it's soon here. It's almost like 2 weeks away, and then the whole seed starting. And then the whole seed sowing starts, and it's the best time of year, isn't it? It's unexpectedly sunny today, this morning. I'm not sure it'll last, but I'm gonna enjoy it as long as it's here. It's cold though. It's cold, but it might be a better day for working outside, I'd say. Less wet. That's always preferable, isn't it? We'll see what I get up to today. I am feeling the manure I moved, so if I can avoid it, I might have a rest day and not do any more hard labor. There are a few other little bits and bobs I need to get on with though, so I'm sure I'll fill my day. I am thinking it will probably become overcast by this afternoon when I get time to go on the plot, but at least it's sunny now, eh? And the birds, they think it's spring already. You can really tell it's not much to eat at the moment. I just noticed that the muntjacs, the little mini deer we have around Oxfordshire, have been in, and goodness me, that was a very loud bird. Oh, it's right here, that's why. It's right next to me. Okay. They've come in and eaten all the tops off my neighbour's leeks. Just yeah, they must be desperate then. I keep most of my things covered because they do come in and have a nibble otherwise, which I have learned, and I learn every year. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, my other neighbour had some gorgeous chard, and they've taken the whole plants. Basically, there's nothing left. I don't think they'll come back. Yeah, you need to cover up. You need to cover up, folks. What a day. It's super dreary. And I spent most of it now pricking out all the chilies, aubergines and peppers and all that. I'm putting that into a separate video because it just makes the vlogs too long. So I'm making it into one how to grow chili videos or whatever. Probably come out this Wednesday or something like that. Yeah, so I guess it would have already come out for you guys, obviously. But yeah, so I've got the leftover seedlings to get rid of. Yeah, there's not too many. And I'll keep the compost for other seedlings because it hasn't really been used yet. And yeah, I never throw anything away. Well, there's the dog. What's the dog doing? She was crying to go out, so she's come out with me. But now she's crying to go inside again. Yeah, so it's less nice outside than maybe she thought. At least it's not raining though, so we'll see how far we get today. It's quite lovely with the birds. It's super quiet otherwise. So I thought I'd open one of my deliveries I had. So I placed an order for my seed potatoes. I can't remember, it must have been December from Thompson and Morgan, and some of them arrived a couple of weeks ago now, and I've kept it without opening the box inside the cupboard in our really cold bathroom to try to stop them from chitting, basically. So I thought I'd take them out and have a look at them, because I have no space to chip potatoes, so I generally don't. So I don't want them growing really long shoots, because then they just become a nightmare. You can just rub them off and let the potatoes start again. So let's see. So here we have Charlotte, which is a second early, and then we have King Edward, which is a main crop, and then we have the Swift, which is a first early. So I've got a pretty good selection here. And then to come is the pink fir apple, and I've been wanting to try that one for such a long time. And then Sarpomira, which is another main crop that I'm really happy with how it performed last year. It's like a pinky one, right? But here they are. This is Charlotte, and yeah, so it started chitting already, which is what I thought. So it's a bit of a nightmare that they're in these bags, because then when they start growing, you know, they're just an absolute bollock to get out. But yeah, they look pretty good. I mean, you can't, they all look the same. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with my selection this year. I was pretty honest. Last year I was too late and barely any selection. And yeah, this will be good. Here, so I'm going to grow all my potatoes in bags this year, in my leftover compost bags, because I just didn't have a great crop last year. They had some sort of, either it was the weather or something, the plants weren't doing very well. They were like very up and down. Some were large, some were tiny. The plants themselves, the crop were pretty similar. It was okay. Got enough. I didn't grow that many, but I thought maybe this year I'll try bags and see if that's any better. So the compost bags I have are pretty small, so I'll probably do 1 or max 2 potatoes per bag, and let them have enough compost to really fill out in there. And yeah, I just don't have the space to chit them anywhere that's frost free. The greenhouse is too risky. If there's a frost, it'll kill the potatoes, like a hard frost, you know, -6 or something. So I'm gonna put them back in their box, seal it up and put it back where I found them. Possibly exchange these horrible plastic netting bags for paper bags I have, and keep them separate like that instead. Hopefully this light they've had now today isn't enough to get them going properly. So I'll plant my potatoes end of March usually. So it's still quite a while to go. It's only beginning of February. So, yeah. Alright. Exciting. Right, so the base for the new greenhouse still needs to be leveled off, and the basic structure that I'm gonna secure the greenhouse to needs to be put in place. So I'm gonna see if I can do this on my own today, at least have a start, maybe get one side or corner done and just be happy that it's square. But yeah, it might be a bit tricky on my own, but we'll see how we go. And it's also freaking cold, so my nose is already very chilly. I'm gonna have to put my gloves back on, and yeah, why don't we just crack on. So the tools I have are a large set square just to check the levels, and then I've got a mallet to, you know, make sure I can get the pieces of timber into place, and then I've got a set square just to make sure that the corners are square. And because you don't want to start building it and then it turns out the glass won't fit because everything isn't square, you know, or you can't get the roof on or whatever. So yeah, best get it done well now at this point, and then the rest will be easy. It's much harder to try to fix this at a later point. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do this on my own. We'll see how we go. So we're digging on the plot, we find all sorts. So this is coal. So, and there's some glass and just random pieces of pottery and stuff. So I reckon this area was a dump in the Victorian times for the houses here. clay pipes is one of those things that we find loads of. If you dig anywhere on the plot, you find all sorts of weird stuff, which is fun. You know, at least it's not like modern day rubbish as much. Right, where's my gloves? So this timber is stuff that came out of our garden. There was a retaining wall that we've moved, and that's all the rotting timber from that. So some of them are still good enough to use for this purpose. So it's part of the reason why we had to redo the garden, because the retaining wall that was there was collapsing, and there was like some sort of rat or something that dug a hole into it and whatever. Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. So all that stuff is now on the plot, ready to be used again. So I thought I would just show you here in the corner. You can see the topsoil, the black stuff, and then down there the brown. That's the clay layer coming up now, so I don't really want to dig anymore. So that will have to be, hopefully that's enough, right? So this will be the deepest layer here, and then it will level out over here. And now, 5 seconds in, I'm also obviously too hot with the coat on. So the light is quickly leaving us, but I think I managed to get most of those two sides done. But yeah, I'll have another little go, but I need to get like a saw to get it to the exact right length and all this sort of stuff. But I'm pretty happy actually. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, but I guess the hard bit will be getting all the four corners together. But yeah, the soil around here is pretty good, so I'm sure it'll be excellent for having a greenhouse here. Right, let's see if I can find a shortish piece to fit between those two there, and then we can see how level it actually is. So all this bindweed. Great. Right, so it's still a little bit off, but it's a good start, and it looks like that corner at least is square. I'll show you what it looks like. So obviously got to find an appropriate length size piece, but I probably need to cut one of the ones I have. And you can see on the spirit level is a bit off, but it's because it's still not sitting level, so I'll move this out of the way. Come on. So you see that it's still a bit high in the center. I mean, that's all assuming that this piece of aluminium is still straight, but that's the assumption we're making. So the idea is that it will line up this side with the greenhouse there, and it will give some sort of semblance of symmetry. But when I walk over to this corner, which obviously I haven't checked if it's straight or not, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it will line up on this side. That's slightly worrying, though. I think it's just like a trick of the mind. So it's getting a little bit too cold and too dark to be doing this fiddly stuff, and I'm just exhausted. My brain just isn't with it, so I'm gonna have to leave it. But I think I made good progress today, and overall it's pretty productive, though. You know, I say that, but looking at the pile of manure, I'm just gonna have to just do at least one barrel load a day or something. I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, I'm working from home quite a lot this week, so I should have some time. And now that the chilies have been pricked out and I've sowed the seeds for the grow along, everything else is sort of ticking up. So this is now the job that's been left, and it's the one I need to do, so I'm gonna do it. The greenhouse can still wait, you know. It's better that I get the manure out of the way, and if I can get more cardboard, I need to mulch those paths. I mean, And then there's still a few of the fruit beds and things like that that need to sit in their winter mulch. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's gone. And now beginning of February, it's a short month, and before we know it, we're in March and we're planting stuff out. Yes, I better be on it now. I'm gonna start sowing all my seeds mid February, so I still have time to get these big jobs done before then, because after that it's gonna be all seeds all the time. So those are the goals: to get the manure pile sorted, get the mulching done, and get the greenhouse base in place. Preferably the greenhouse up before I start sowing seeds, so that all the seedlings can go in there. That would be great, because there really isn't space in the small one yet. I mean, I still have all the stuff growing in there. I'm not sure what my plan was before I bought this new greenhouse, but it's all working out, so I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, if you have been watching for this far into the vlog, yeah, I'm very happy to have you. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I haven't bored you to death with all the stuff I need to do rather than doing stuff, right? Anyway, I will leave you there, and I will see you again on Friday.